He's trying to set up the scenario that people are harassing him and intimidating him. He's filing false police reports, allegedly, and making these accusations against the gentleman that's going to speak next.
And after what happened with Mr. Crisafulli, with him saying that I threatened, harassed him, followed him out to his car, I found out about this article because he privately messaged and sent it to me with a message that said, "Hi, Mikey, let us know how we can help." And I'm reading this article and I'm just like, what the hell is this shit?
I'm here tonight to support Bongholeo. Crisafulli filed a false police report against Bongholeo. The allegations were not true, and it was on video.
When accountability knocks, he doesn't open the door. He calls the cops and plays the victim. We're not just looking at one false report. We're looking at fragility, a man who collapses under scrutiny. We're looking at manipulation, a man who weaponizes the police to cover his fear. We're looking at narcissism, a man who must always be the victim.
A man who asks questions should never be investigated criminally. That's a problem. You should not support that. He's got to do what he's told to do in regards to that. And of course he will find nothing. But I support this man here. You should all support it because, especially you, blathered on about the First Amendment. But when a journalist is asking questions, relevant questions, to a candidate running who has a lot of responsibility up here.
Hello, I'm Dan Crisafulli, and I'm running for Summit's Common Council. Last night's council meeting was a striking example of just how poisoned our local politics have become. Councilman Kevin Smallwood attacked two of his council colleagues, calling their behavior shameful, simply for not giving a standing ovation after an exaggerated account of another council member's accomplishments. Two of Kevin's supporters then followed his example, heckling and threatening me as I left the council chambers. One followed me to my car. Leaders set an example. Kevin made it clear to his followers, if you disagree with someone, you get to intimidate and harass them. This is not how anyone should be treated in Summit, and it's just plain un-American.
My name is Scalzo, S-C-A-L-Z-O. My contact information is at scalzophoto.com. I wasn't actually planning on speaking today, but I had a quick, strange interaction with Dan Crisafulli earlier. And the only reason I'm talking about him is because I understand he's a candidate for the council. That's the only reason I'm bringing him up. So I walk in, and I go to sit down, and the chief welcomed me in, and I sit next to him. And then Dan takes out a camera and takes a picture of me, which is fine. We're all on camera. But what he's trying to do, he's trying to set up the scenario that people are harassing him and intimidating him. And the chief saw that I literally sat down at a random chair. I was not trying to intimidate Dan Crisafulli, just for the record. I want to put that on the record. Because he's filing false police reports, allegedly, and making these accusations against the gentleman that's going to speak next. So I just want to put that on the record. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. I will be remaining anonymous. Council President, Mayor, City Clerk can largely be a thankless job, and I thank you all for the jobs that you're doing. I would like to speak a little bit about the history of, my coming into Summit. I've been here for about 8 months. And when I first got here, I was challenging a lot of the Republican leadership team because you guys are the council majority. It was met with professionalism, and I called every one of you out, and particularly at one point or another, except for Councilwoman Michelle, I don't want to say your last name wrong, and also Councilwoman Toth. Never called you guys out particularly. And then I started focusing on the Democrats. I'm an advocate for government transparency and accountability. So as I started, there was some residents and they were feeding me all this information. Look at this, look at that, look at this. I can't wait to meet you. Your videos are great. I'm so glad you're in town, all this stuff. Second, I started looking at the Democrats. These same people now start, and after what happened with Mr. Crisafulli, with him saying that I threatened, harassed him, followed him out to his car. I found out about this article because he privately messaged and sent it to me with a message that said, "Hi, Mikey, let us know how we can help." And I'm reading this article, and I'm just like, what the hell is this shit? Like, it's just, I didn't even mean to. Like, bizarre, So I thought that was really interesting. All I did was ask him questions. The man didn't know it was on camera. He tried to advance his own political opportunity and gain at not only my expense, but all of the residents. All of the residents' expense is what he tried to do. So I think that's shameful. That's absolutely disgusting. And he said I was a supporter or a follower of Kevin Smallwood. I had never publicly or even privately said I support Kevin Smallwood, but now I do. Now I do. Yeah, you better believe it. I think that's people who are inferior cower in the shadow of real leadership. And the reason why I was challenging the leadership team is because they have leadership, and I will hold anyone accountable. That's what I do. That's what keeps me well. I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're a Republican. It's important for me. And in the spirit of Charlie Kirk, I want to say, everybody's got to say what they're needing to say. Just as soon as they're needing to say it, the freedom to speak, to be a freak, or the freedom to say that you hate it, and have a big old conversation. I saw laughing, and I saw glee. It could have been you. It could have been me. I would like to have an opportunity, if you allow me, to, in the spirit of our American values over party politics and identity, give everybody an opportunity to accept an American flag. If I could start with Mr. Giacob, who I've had a history with, as a symbolic way to think of our values, our core values over party politics. If I could start there and then go to the left and give everybody an opportunity to take a flag.
That'd be fine, and then we'll move on, okay? Thank you so much for your comments.
Thank you.
Mikey, I hope they don't ban
Thank you.
them
I'm gonna
here.
put this on my Jeep.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a nice surprise.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a big difference between this and the big difference.
Huge.
Shows a patriotism.
Please begin.
Before my time starts, can I get more time?
No, 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Yep.
We've heard you guys for the past, I don't know, 4 hours.
I know, 3 minutes.
I know. So, all right. So, good evening. I'm Garden State Accountability. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm here tonight to support Bongholeo and ask for a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk, who was tragically murdered. Whatever your view of him may be, Charlie stood for free speech, and it's something that we should all value. So, I'm going to give 30 seconds. Charlie Kirk once said, freedom of speech is not about protecting the speech you agree with. It's about protecting the speech you disagree with. So we come to these meetings to be heard. You may not like what we have to say, but every voice deserves respect. Retaliation against people for their speech is wrong. And yet Crisafulli filed a false police report against Bongholeo. The allegations were not true, and it was on video. Now ask yourselves, is he really scared of a man with a camera? And the fact that he's so childish to whip out a phone and record us. That's not leadership, it's weakness. You cannot vote for this man for council in November. He lied on a police report, he doesn't answer questions, and he has no credibility. I ask this council and the people of Summit to stand up for free speech, honesty, and stand up for accountability. And if you guys have a tip about corruption in your community, you can email me at alertgsanow@gmail.com. Yeah, so let's get the speaking time up. I mean, this is crazy. We definitely heard you guys for, I don't know, 4 hours. I've been here since 6 o'clock. The meeting was supposed to start at 7:20. It started at 8. There's 40 minutes right there. I mean, the least you guys can do is give the people a little bit more time, because we hear a lot from you. And I've been watching these meetings for the past, I don't know, what is it, 8 months you've been coming here? You know, and some people get cut off. People have speeches. She even read something for some woman on a laptop. That's extra time. That's something, you know, we should give that courtesy to other people, not just some. You know what I mean? So let's get that speaking time to at least 5 minutes. And you guys can vote on that tonight, or put forth an ordinance to make the speaking time 5 minutes, at least, for the courtesy of the people here in Summit that don't want to be cut off. That's all I got.
Thank you for your comments.
Good evening. My name is David Snow with the Exposure Report, and I'm here in solidarity with my fellow Freedom Enforcer and Tyranny Response Team member, Bongholeo. I want to thank the chief for, you have people coming up to him trying to, upset about us exercising our First Amendment rights, and I seen him telling them they have the right to speak and say what they want to say, especially during Constitution Week. I think it's very important. So thank you to the chief. Recently, as an independent journalist, Bongholeo here asked questions in this here very public building. That's not harassment. That's democracy. That's the job of a free press. However, Dan Crisafulli couldn't handle it. He didn't just leave the room, he left reality. He went to the police and filed a false police report. He claimed the journalist harassed him and followed him to his car, except the facts don't match his fantasy. The journalist never left the building after him. This wasn't a misunderstanding, this was a fabrication. And a fabrication tells us more about Dan than the truth ever could. Because here's the psychology. When he feels pressure, he doesn't stand up to it, he rewrites it. When he feels cornered, he doesn't answer, he invents. When accountability knocks, he doesn't open the door, he calls the cops and plays the victim. That's not leadership, that's pathology. And when that lie started to look too thin to stand on, he added another. He added another. He branded the journalist as political, trying to tie him to his opponent's party. That's projection. That's paranoia. That's the authoritarian instinct to turn every critic into an enemy of the state. Let's psychoanalyze this for what it is. We're not just looking at one false report. We're looking at fragility, a man who collapses under scrutiny. We're looking at manipulation, a man who weaponizes the police to cover his fear. We're looking at narcissism, a man who must always be the victim. And we're looking at dishonesty, a man who rewrites reality anytime the truth doesn't fit his ego. Now ask yourself, if he'll lie about being followed to his car, what else will he lie about? If he'll weaponize law enforcement to silence a journalist, will he weaponize the city hall to silence residents? If he sees accountability as harassment, how will he treat democracy when it demands transparency? Summit doesn't need actors playing the part of public servant. You don't need fabricators. You don't need men so fragile that a question feels like an attack. We need leaders who can stand in the light, let there be light, without flinching. Leaders who could take questions without calling them crimes. Leaders who could answer the people without rewriting the script. Dan Crisafulli has shown us who he is. And when someone shows you who they are, believe him the first time. He's not strong, he's not honest, he's not fit for office. So let me close with this. A man who can't handle questions has no business handling power. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Leroy Truth of Leroy Truth Investigations. Please subscribe to me on YouTube and Facebook. You can investigate me now too. I'm laughing because as this gentleman was speaking, the coward of Summit, Dan
Please address the council.
I'm going to address anything I want. This is First Amendment, remember?
I know.
You had a beautiful speech about it. I'm going to look here, I'm going to look here. You did a great job. You got some really wonderful, powerful speakers in Summit. I'm really loving this place. Now, one thing that really concerns me, though, is the 3 minutes. And that is not enough time. And I know you gave this very nice woman, is she still here? I don't see her. You gave her over 4 minutes. Now, that would not be content neutral if you stopped me at 3. And so I hope you will honor that. Now, as far as the 3 minutes, I've heard some people say, well, it's a process to change that, which it should be 6 minutes. That's reasonable. So with a show of hands, how many of you right now would be willing to change from 3 minutes to 6 minutes? Show of hands. So that people can speak freely.
Wow, nobody.
Not a single Republican or Democrat. You have all gone on and on and on all evening. You love to hear yourself speak, but I came from New England to be here, to support this gentleman here who, that Dan Crisafulli, I just can't get his name right, I don't know. But he lied about this man here, and you had something you said which was disappointing as well, and that is Mike McTiernan. And it was Council President Mike McTiernan, and this is in the tapinto.net, terrible, terrible newspaper here. While I cannot comment on an ongoing police investigation, I have full confidence that the Summit Police Department, I love the chief too, by the way, he's awesome, will conduct a thorough and professional follow-up, i.e. investigation, he said, emphasizing that all residents deserve to feel safe in their community. Well, a man who asks questions should never be investigated criminally. That's a problem. You should not support that. He's got to do what he's told to do in regards to that, and of course he will find nothing. But I support this man here. You should all support it because, especially you, blathered on about the First Amendment, but when a journalist is asking questions, relevant questions, to a candidate running who has a lot of responsibility up here. So I get vibes of a lot of professionalism, vibes of some infighting, vibes of caring for the residents from different ones, and vibes of not caring for them. And I'm hoping that you support free journalism and you will condemn Dan Crisafulli. If I come again, I promise to practice the name, I promise. But the First Amendment is sacred. And it only kicks in if my speech offends you or his speech offends you. Otherwise, the First Amendment is completely unnecessary. And lastly, Dan, whatever his last name is, he ran out like a coward.
Mr. Truth, I'm going to give you the same courtesy I gave that one. Just wrap it up, please.
I
Okay?
appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And that this gentleman, as he was speaking, Dan, the guy running for council here, he ran away. And each of you seem to have pretty thick skins, and I appreciate that. I think everyone else does as well. And you do listen to us when we speak. Whether you act upon it or not, that's a different story. So I appreciate spending some time here today, and God bless you all who come here peacefully. And God bless the chief. I really like him a lot. Because you had a major fight with him. So thank you.
Thank you. Other public comments?
El Rampador, Hudson County. I'm here to talk about the ableism here in Summit. I'm in a lot of pain right now. I shouldn't be here. I should be home on a Zoom meeting. And for 19 months, you gave us Zoom access. You gave disabled people all the things they were asking for years, like online church, online school, online everything, online work. I mean, and for 19 months, disabled people were along for the ride. My friend Jeff took part from his deathbed in meetings. Stage 4 cancer. People in wheelchairs all over the state were taking part in these meetings. And then all of a sudden, you took it away. And why'd you take it away? Why'd you take away Zoom access for the disabled? For sick and dying people. You have schools in Summit without proper wheelchair access where children are fire hazards because the access is bad and you got a kid on the other side of the building where there's no ramp. They're a fire hazard. Children. The children. We forget about the children. We forget about the vets. We take photo ops with vets, but we forget about the vets. You have all over New Jersey, you have urban enterprise zones where you get tax breaks, but if you're in a wheelchair, you can't access the same tax breaks as able-bodied people. And you see that all over. We have police stations around New Jersey without wheelchair access. Post offices around New Jersey with no wheelchair access. And it's bipartisan. It's a bipartisan issue. I saw Jack Citarelli a couple of weeks ago in Dover, and I tried to talk to him about wheelchair access to police stations and post offices, and he refused to even engage with it. And it's bipartisan because you talk about the Cannabis Regulatory Commission here in New Jersey, where cannabis patients, this cannabis industry was built on sick, dying, and disabled patients You would think the CRC would have a resolution or an ordinance to have wheelchair access to dispensaries. But there are dispensaries all over New Jersey without wheelchair access. South Orange, Jersey City, Maplewood, Camden. They take their photo ops with disabled vets, but they don't care. And I've seen it all over, and it's bipartisan. It's not just Republicans, it's not just Democrats. It's our government. And you have failed the disabled again. We're asking for Zoom access. Can we have Zoom access back? It wouldn't take too much, but I hear the excuses now. Oh, we don't have the technology. You had the technology for 19 months to have Zoom access. Oh, we don't have the people to do it. You had the people to do it for 19 months. All the excuses I've heard. We recently got Dover to go back to in-person, Zoom meetings. Except that they banned the in-person meetings. You can't have meetings in person, but it's crazy what's going on in Dover. So I would ask that you put the last first. You think about disabled vets, because you wouldn't even have this council if it wasn't for disabled vets fighting for your right to be ignorant and ableist. And if you're ignorant and ableist, that's on you. I'm not saying you are, but maybe you need to look at yourselves and find out why your schools don't have proper access. It's a lot of issues.
Mr. Rampador, could you wrap it up, please?
Thank you. And that's all I have. They shall grow not old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
I want to say I thank you guys so much for showing up and supporting me. It means a great deal. I know for a fact that Dan Crisafulli's political career, before it even started, ended tonight. When Dave was speaking from the exposure report, it shut him down. He couldn't take the heat, you know.
No, what was really funny is when one of you was speaking, it might have been Scalzo, I'm not sure who it was. At some point, he got up, he was angry, and he went up to Chief Peters, and he was demanding, right?
Six people said bad things about him.
This is not cool. And then someone else went up to him, and Peter said, listen, they have the right to speak. Like
So the chief said that?
Yeah. So he shut him down, told him they got the right to speak. That's why I thanked him for that. And then he said, well, he got up and he's like, I'm going to speak. He has no pad. Like, no, I'm going to say this. This is pertinent to what they're saying. And then I got up and then I looked back and he was gone.
Dan Crisafulli started freaking out when, this gentleman started singing. He got pissed. He hates music, and someone else stormed out.
Did he really?
Once you started hitting those beautiful notes,
well, you know why
he got mad.
He's been upset ever since I made a music video about him. He tried to private message me, and he said, I expect an apology.
Dan texting, yeah, he bounced quick. Couldn't handle the pressure, made him sick. Ran from the room like a scaredy cat. Now his campaign's looking kinda flat. Said he was ready to lead the way, but his actions screamed a different play. Leadership's about facing the fire, not running away like a damn liar.